Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm sharing a layout for One Sketch 3 Ways September 2025. We've chosen this month as the sketch is from PageMaps September edition, and I'm using pattern papers from this collection from Photoplay called Aweigh. And it's a photograph of me and James with the captain and some of his the head crew people on our recent Disney cruise. I've already chosen some of the pattern papers I'm going to use, and I've cut them down to size. I've cut them into strips. I've got a selection of Elles Magpie bits and pieces, the wood elements, and also some JD 3D print titles as well. So I've got this nice colour wash paper that I'm just going to cut. I've cut them down 6x12, and I've just cut them down into 6x6 strips. I do cut them down further. I think I cut them down to about 3x6, just because I only need a small element at the top and bottom of this layout. And I've used this anchor paper, which is roughly 7x8, something like that. So I'm going to put the yellow at the top and the blue at the bottom, as you can see, and that coordinates with the two different pattern papers on the sketch. I'm not going to put a second photograph on the on the sketch. It said add a small photograph. I think it's 2.5 by 2.5, but I don't add that. I'll show you what I do instead. I end up having cut apart sheets, and I've put that one on the left hand side that says eat, sleep, cruise, repeat, and the one at the bottom that says hello, adventure. So for the title, I'm going to use the JD 3D print title, which says Life at Sea. And as you can see, I've put it to the bottom left in place of that small photograph. But as I'm creating this layout, I realised that there's too many words in that area. So I've got the words on the 3x4 cut apart sheet, plus the words on that yellow piece that's going underneath the photograph. And so I do end up changing it all around. So as I always say, a sketch is always, for me, is a jumping point, or a starting point to develop. I sometimes follow the sketch letter for letter. Other times I might just choose the pattern papers and then I go totally off on my own direction. So this is a combination of both, because I've followed the sketch as much as I could, and then I do change it by moving my title around and adding extra elements. So before I go further on, I want to back this photograph with some pattern paper. It's printed off with a small white border, and I just want to back it with some pattern paper just so it make it stand out a bit more. So I've just chosen this stripe paper, and I've also got some of the colour wash paper, the blue colour wash paper, but it's not the full my photograph is 6x4, so it's not the full 6x4, but I do sort of put it together with a gap at the left hand side, and you don't notice it because it's the 3x4 cut apart sheet sort of hides that. So I'm just going to add some 3D foam pads to the back, again just to give it some dimension to my layout. And when I'm putting it down, I'm thinking, why is the base papers moving? And I realised that I've not stuck it down yet, so I do stick that down. I'll show you in a while. While I'm just waiting to catch up on my video, please don't forget to follow Sarah and Helen and see how they have created their layouts using this sketch. I also, this cut apart sheet was a bit too long, so I've just trimmed top and bottom. It does go tuck under, and I'm much happy with that. I also do trim the 3x4 piece down as well, because that was a bit too big for that side, for the left hand side of the what am I talking about? Left hand side of the layout. So again, I've added some more 3D form. So I've got two layers of 3D form underneath my photograph. And I think here it is where I realised that I've not stuck the back elements down. So I'm just going to quickly stick those down into place. Excuse me. And like I said, please follow Ellen and Sarah. And if you've not joined our Facebook group, please come and join it. It's called One Sketch 3 Ways. And each month we pick a sketch and the three of us do a layout in our interpretation of the sketch. And it's just a bit of fun, a way of stash busting as well. So we don't always use old stock, but older stock, should I say. We don't always use older stock, but most often than not, we do. We're sort of using past collections that we've got. So here I am. I've just I've added the LO Adventure underneath and the Eat, Sleep, Cruise, Repeat to the left-hand side. Adding 3D foam pads to the back, so that it just gives it a bit more dimension than being flat on the page. And then I am going to I want to put the title there, and then I think, well, it gets lost with the dark paper at the back. So I've got this spare piece of paper that's pink, and I'm going to put it there. My idea was to put it there because that's so less where the title is on the sketch. But I glue it down onto the piece of paper, onto this pink piece of paper, and then realised that I just don't want it there. It looked too blocky for me. So I end up adding it to the top of my photograph. So I'm just used some Nouveau Deluxe glue just to glue that down onto the paper. I do cut it down slightly on the left hand side, so there's only a small border, and I do add it to the top. I think I had 3D form to the back of it as well. I think I do. So I'm just going to trim it down now to the slight border on the left hand side, so it doesn't look as long. So that's that, and then I think I do add 3D form to the pack. And my idea was in the gap at the bottom left where I was going to put the title, I was going to use the some of the elements off the 12 by 12 sticker sheet. I think I've still got it on the video. I do look at it and I do pull one or two things off, but again, it was all wordy and I didn't want any more words congregating in that left hand corner. So again, like I've just said, I add 3D form pads to the back of my title. So my title's going to go at the top, and then I do look and think, oh, but everything I see on there, it's all wordy and I didn't really want too much words. I've got these 49 and Market frames in the same sort of colour tones as what I wanted, blue. I think they're called Ocean. And I was going to put the frame and this die cut over the top, but I end up removing the frame and just adding the die cut. Again, adding it to my layout using Nouveau glue and just placing it on the layout. And I do on the sketch, the photograph, the small photograph's at an angle, so I do end up putting this die, which is from the Elles Magpie Let's Travel metal die collection, and I end up putting that at a slight angle as well. And then I go back to my JD 3D print elements, and I found a ship's wheel and an anchor, which I add to the bottom right of my photograph, underneath where it says Hello Adventure. I do add some twine to the anchor off camera and glue that down. And then I just wanted to see if there's any more bits that I wanted to use from this collection on my layout. I put there's two stars. There's a white one and a blue one in the collection pack. But I was going to put the blue one there, but I decided not to. It was just sort of going to be hanging off there, and I thought I've got enough going on on my page. So I've just stuck that down. I did stuck down on the camera, and then I've just done a tab punch using my We Are Memory Keepers tab punch, and punched it out of craft card, which is the same craft card that the die cut is on the left hand side. And then I wanted to use the what's it called? The wood element heart to the top. So I've got like the 3 shades of the tan beige colour craft and the wood on my layout. And I do change it to a geotag from Elles Studio. So I went through my collection and I just picked out some puffy stickers that I've got, various these geotags, and some couple of packets of the different coloured hearts that I've got in this collection. I also found these blue labels, so I'm just going to add them as a base for my embellishments. I actually kept the embellishments very simple. I've just used hearts. I've not used anything other than 3 hearts in each of these places where I'm putting these blue tags. I think I need to have a bit of a tidy up there on my table. So I'm just going through and seeing what other elements, what other shape arts I want. Now this set I use are from the autumn collection. I think it's a couple of years ago. Let me just flick through. And I've got a date on them. Oh, no, actually, they're 2022. They're from 2022. So, yeah, the Autumn Arts and Star Puffy collections. So it's quite old in my stash. And then I found some labels, but the words on these labels were on different colours, like on the red and on the dark blue, and I didn't want to put them. So using my stamp set, this is awesome. I'll link all the products down below if they're still available at Aweigh Magpie. And I've just stamped around the page. So here's a few close-ups. I'm just showing the tag, the puffy stickers. I've stamped "This is awesome" at the bottom, and I've moved the wood veneer to the bottom of my page. Thank you for stopping by. Please like and subscribe to my channel. If you've got any comments, please leave them below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Don't forget to check out Helen and Sarah's layouts using this sketch. Thanks for stopping by. See you again. Bye.